YouTube, what's up and what it do? Is you got done back in with them packs in. Y'all already see what's going on. Y'all read the title and y'all seen the thumbnail. Today, we got a pack from across that water and we have a pack from the retail chain. Now, like I said, y'all seen the thumbnail. Pretty much, I'm going to be giving y'all a real versus fake on the Air Jordan 4 Industrial, aka Military Blue. Now, without further ado, we're going to get into the video and I'm going to let y'all see some of the differences. Now, I got like 3 different versions, y'all, of the Military Blue. So bear with me. I'm going to try to make this video as short as I can. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure y'all sub up. Even if you've been to the channel before and you haven't subbed up, do so. Like, comment under this video. Feel free to input whatever I miss out on in this video. I'm just trying to show y'all the differences. I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So just feel free to put your input in. You know what I'm saying? As far as the retail, I picked these up from Snipes. And yeah, after taxes, these ran, you got like $227. Y'all already know the retail price on them is that $215. So you already know how the tax be. I'm gonna first pull the retail out the box, let y'all see what's going on, and give y'all overview 360 of them. And then I'm gonna pull the replicated version from across that water out of the box. And we're gonna, pretty much see what's going on in these kicks. As for the inside of the box, I don't have any stamps, any stickers or anything. And pretty much that's how the inside is looking. Now I'm gonna get this box back over. I'm gonna put it to the rear anyway. Now I did do a measurement of the boxes and they're about the same size. Now, looking at the retail, we're gonna start with looking at the left kick first. And I'm gonna give y'all a 360 on it just in case if y'all want to see another version of pretty much the retails, because they can be inconsistent. I can say mine came out pretty decent looking, if I should say so myself. A couple of little minor things that I could nitpick about. You already see we got that nice toe on there and everything is looking pretty much good in my opinion. We got the hang tag and we have the right foot looking like this. So I'm gonna try to keep this video, like I said, as short as I can. I'm gonna pull out the actual replicated version from across that water. Now, the first replicated version that I'm gonna be showing on the video is the one that I actually did the first standalone of on my channel, and it's from my guys over at B Kicks. So y'all can just see everything that's going on with the kicks. Like I said, the boxes is about the same size. I'm gonna just get them out and we're gonna discuss. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much up with these unboxings of the kicks. Long as y'all know who they coming from and all of that goodness. Now, I might take this video and I might chop it down. Ain't no stickers in this box as well. I might chop it down for the people who don't want to see a long-winded video and give it to you guys in parts. Part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this real versus fake. Now, I'm going to get the actual replicated version over to my left. And we're going to do a stare down on the kicks, so we can see the actual differences on them. Now, just looking at the kicks, these kicks pretty much are spot on identical. What we're going to do is we're going to start by taking a look at the bottom of each, and we're going to work our way up on the kicks. Now, in my right hand, we have the actual retail, and then in my left hand, we have the actual UA, high quality replicated, whatever you want to call it. The bottoms is looking pretty much spot on. We got the retail at the top. We got the replicated at the bottom right here. Now, we got the typical star type of pattern that we see on the bottom of these. I'll say the retail is a little bit more bunched up as far as the stars go, and a little bit more pronounced on the retail than they are on the actual replicated. We got like a slight color blue difference on the actual retail from the rep. And this is how everything is looking. Now, coming back up to the actual lateral side of the kicks and on the midsole, see, I'm going to tell y'all one telltale sign to how I usually know if the retail is actually a retail, you know what I'm saying? And that's because on the retail versions, we usually see this actual paint right here that's on the midsole. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's like an imperfection that usually happens with the actual retails, but you can just feel more texture and you can see more of the paintbrush strokes. And I always say that a lot in my real versus fake, especially when it comes to the Jordan 4s. And you can see what's going on as far as on the midsole. You can see slight bubbling on the actual midsole. Now in the inside, both of them has the 2 air pod units in the inside, and I'm gonna bring the actual replicated version on screen, and I'm gonna let y'all see that it's pretty much the same, you know, close to the same color. Let y'all get a look at it. The shades of blue is slightly different by a hair, but like nothing too serious. But as far as that midsole paint, you can see how smooth it is on the replicated version. Now, I believe the type of paint that they use on the midsole on the reps, I believe Nike and Jordan brand used to use this paint like back in the day. And I think it looks a little bit more perfect, but it's just more smoother. Y'all can see what's going on. And that's how I know. It's like it's a smoother feeling, less texture to it. Now, like I said, looking at these shoes from the side, maybe on the version that we're looking at now, as far as the replicated version, maybe around the mudguard where the actual suede is, we can see a slight darkness in the color. It's gray, but I'm seeing like a slight, you know, hints of beige in the color on the actual mudguard. But the more you wear these shoes, the darker that suede is going to get anyway, especially when you got to clean them up. And it looks to be a tad bit higher. Now, these are both the same size, you know, both size 11. And you can see is a tad bit higher on the mudguard. Now, this video is not to call out anybody or to say, well, I looked at Don videos, so I know, you know what I'm saying, you know, whose shoes are fake or whatever. This is for educational purposes to help you from not being scammed when trying to get this, which is a retail on a resale market. So you can steer away from getting this if you don't want this. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to show y'all these differences. Now, another telltale sign is like just looking at the actual stitching. So the stitching on the actual retail, a lot of the times is a lot closer and a lot smaller in stitch. You can barely see the actual stitching. And all around the shoe, I'm gonna show y'all what's going on as far as the stitching. Now we can see under the wing how it look. Now, you know, the retail, they can be a little bit off too with the stitching, but I'm gonna bring the actual retail into the screen and I'm gonna put the actual replicated. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring both of the actual left foot into the picture so we can see a little bit better what's going on. So I got the retail at the top and I got the replicated at the bottom. Y'all see that stitch difference? We can see it right there. It looks a tad bit bigger. The stitching, it looks good. It just looks a tad bit bigger than what the retail looks like. And y'all can see everything that's going on. So I got my retail to my right and my replicated to the left. And you can see even on the back tab of the kick, the differences in the stitching. Look how it looks up there versus on the retail. Not a big deal breaker, like I said, if y'all just want to rock the replicated or whatever. I know some people, they like to just have a replicated just to beat down and, you know, stock a retail, or they just get 2 retails. However you want to do it is on you. But as far as the height on both of the kicks, they sit about the same. Air Jordan in the back of the tongue, about the same as on this replicated version. Now, it's both looking like that. The tongue on them, the replicated, I feel like it feels a little bit more softer to the touch. Now, they look the same, but the replicator is a little bit more softer, a little bit more fluffier feel, where this feels a little bit more solid. Like, it just seemed like the replicated one, in my opinion, would feel better on foot. But overall, another sign that I'm seeing on these kicks is that on the wing of the actual replica, on the actual retail, I'm always seeing rep when I'm looking at the retail, but on the actual wing of the retail, you can see how the color is. It's a little bit more. Both of these have like a grayish type of blue hue on the upper portion of the kick, but on the actual replicated version, the wing is a tad bit more darker in that bluish grayish tint. It almost looked like someone wore a pair of denim, you know, blue jeans, and it had like a little bit of rub off of the denim on the actual wing. And I'm gonna bring the retail into the picture. This is the retail, the one that I'm waving, and you can see the replicated right here on my left. And maybe it just might be me, but y'all can see everything that's going on the kicks, man. Now, other than that, looking at the toe box on these, I can say that Across That Water perfected the toe box, in my opinion. I mean, it looks pretty decent and pretty sleek, in my opinion. It's like a slight difference, but like I said, I hate to be cliche on foot though. You're not gonna be able to tell. I kind of like the slope a little bit more on the actual replicated version from Across That Water. On this edition, a little bit more than on the actual retail, but the retail is lovely as well. I'm gonna get y'all another view on it, and I'm gonna take the actual right kick to the actual retail, which would be over to my left this time, and the left kick of the actual replicated, and I'm gonna put it in my right hand and let y'all see the differences between these toe boxes, because they do vary sometimes from right to left, left to right, and that's how it's looking on there. Now we're gonna take a look at the actual Jumpman on both of the actual tongues, and both of them, as far as the Cajun is looking pretty decent on the front. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of netting on the actual replicated, as well as the actual retail, and it looks good. The opening, they looks about the same. Now the filling of the actual cage netting, it feels slightly, you know, different, but this one on the retail feels a little bit more rubbery, and this feels a little bit more harder and plasticky on the actual replicated. But all in all, it's not like a real big difference. It's just, if you was to nitpick it, that would be like the differences. If you was like to be nitpicking, you really wouldn't be able to tell unless you're feeling super hard to see. Now, looking at the top of the tongues, we got the replicated in my left, and we got the retail in my right hand. The Jumpman on both is looking pretty much spot on. Now, like I said, looking at the actual font on the flight, they look pretty much spot on. It seemed like, in my opinion, if I just wanted to nitpick it, like the flight on the replicated, being that they do replicate these kicks to get them as close as possible, the flight font could be a little bit thicker on the actual replicated version, but overall we still got that slight color difference. Is a little bit more vibrant in color on the actual retail, and you can see how the Jumpman look on the replicated. Other than that, like I said, on foot, who's gonna be able to really call you out? We're gonna get into the inside of the shoe though. I already got y'all here for like going on 15 minutes, and we still got 2 other shoes to look at. This is the insert for the actual retail, and this is the hang tag on the retail right here. And we're gonna get into the inside of the shoes and check out that insole and do all of that good stuff so we can get these shoes black light. Now, this is the actual Dream Cell insole on the retail, and this is how the inside look on the retail. Right here, you can see the stitching in the inside, and that's how it looks. Now, we're going to get a look at the actual size tag in there. And I'm going to do a side-by-side and post to show you both side-by-side. This is the retail, and this is how it's looking in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually get everything up out of the actual, and what I'll do is I'll do the shoe that has the hang tag on it so I can show y'all guys the hang tag. So to watch out for on the actual replicated is that the actual hang tag is a tad bit more shinier on the actual front side of the Nike Air. On the retail version, and there's a slight color difference if y'all can see that. And there's a little bit more of a matte finish on the other side of the actual UA versus it being more shinier on the other side of the retail. But as far as the inside go, we got the actual differences in the paper, the way it's stuffed in, but that can vary. This is the retail, this is the replicated. As far as the insole and the inside, whoa, feels like the insole is a little bit thicker. Feeling on the feels a little bit more stiffer, whereas it feels a little bit more flimsier on the actual retail. I don't know if it's just me or not, but we do see how it looks. This is the retail, this is the replicated, that you guys see that. Now the difference is on the back of this actual, on the back of the actual replicated insole is that we have it looking a little bit more smoother and a little bit more dull, whereas we can see the texture and is a little bit more shinier on the retail. And like I said, to me, it seems to be like a little bit more thicker of an insole on the replicated. Seemed like it could be a little bit more comfortable on the replicated. And as for the actual inside on this inside tag, like I said, I'm going to get them both on the screen so y'all can see them side by side. That's how it's looking. Just note these are the differences between the both of the kicks that we have in front of us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the lights and I'm going to black light both of these kicks so we can see if there's any major call out differences under the black light. So let's see what we got going on. This is the retail right here. So we got it glowing a little bit in the inside on the air unit. On the retail, we have it glowing around the front right here on the retail. Got it glowing on the stitching in the inside. This is the retail. That's everything that's going on. And let me see what would be the differences. Let me see. So the front stitching is not glowing. And I already see that the front stitching is glowing on this particular replicated. We do have it glowing right here on the actual same part as it's glowing on the retail. And as for the inside, let me see if the stitching is glowing in the inside. So we got it looking lit up in the inside as well. Oh yeah, and I didn't even get y'all the inside of the actual replicated. Let me hit this light real quick and show y'all this is how it's looking in the replicated versus the retail. This is the retail. We got some numbers under the footbed, and we have like a stamp right there on the actual replicated, and those are the differences. But back to the black light. Like I said, the main thing that I'm seeing is that the stitching around the toe is actually glowing up on the replicated version of it, whereas it's not glowing up on the actual retail. So that'll be a good telltale sign to whether if your pair is real or fake or not. let's move it on to the actual second replicated version that I have. All right. So let's get this one about the way. Boom, bada bing. And let's get our second replicated version into the picture. Now, on all of the actual replicated versions, these are high quality, and it is like a waxy type of finish on the actual box lid, which would be the differences. All of the boxes is about the same size compared to the retail. This is the tag on this particular replicated version. And on this one, this is the seller that they come from. Like on both of these ones, the last one that I showed you guys, and on this one, I do have a separate standalone video showcasing these kicks. This is from He's Kick.ru. So let's pull these ones out right here and see what's going on them and get them on display. They pretty much about the same in my opinion, but we must go over them and let you guys see what's going on so you guys can see the differences, man, because that's what this video is for, to help you out so you won't be getting scammed on an actual resale market. Because I know they said these were sitting in certain places, and a lot of places they sold out. So if you can't obtain your pair from the retail, y'all already know where you can go to, or you can go to the third parties like the GOAT, StockX, Flight Club, and stuff, and you can get them as well. But doing a stare down on this particular pair from He's Kick, I'm seeing a same slight difference of the color and the suede, and I'm gonna bring them close up for you guys so you can see. Now, toolbox wise, like I said, this is how it's looking. I'm kind of liking the toe box on the replicateds a little bit more, although you can see is the same thing with the stitching. The stitching is not ugly by any means on the actual replicated version. Is just a little bit bigger and a little bit more pronounced, whereas on the actual retail is a tad bit smaller. You can see a little bit more of a rollover of the suede on the toe box, and both of them got the widow's peaks right here on the front of the tip of the toe. And this is how it's looking. Now, we see how it is. Bottom wise, this is how it's looking. On the bottom, give you guys a look in there. It's about the same differences as it was on the last replicated version. We're going to take a look at the back of both of them. This is the retail, and this is the rep. Take a look at the back. Same height and scale. Back on the back tab, this is how it was looking. Like I said, stitching wise, that's how it was looking on the back tab. That's how it was looking on the back tab of the retail. Flick both of the back tabs. Feels a little bit more softer of a flick on the actual retail than what it is on the actual rep. The rep feels a tad bit more sturdier, but all in all, it feels a little bit more flimsier on the retail. But you won't be able to tell that, you know, on foot, of course. But I mean, the retail is a tad bit more softer, a little bit more closer to that SB back tab that we seen on the SBs. Looking at both of them on the side, the caging and all of that is looking pretty much the same. We have the retail on top and the replicated on the bottom. And that's pretty much all y'all need to see other than the black light. So, like I said, the inside of the actual retail. And I'm going to pull out the actual. Okay, so on this replicated version, they did get the hang tag somewhat correct a little bit more than on the actual other version. If y'all want to go back and look at that, this is a little bit more on point to the retail. So really, let's see, there's a little bit more matte on this one. So really, it can vary when it comes to the hang tags. Just want to let y'all see how it's looking, and all of the goodness. So we're gonna get into the inside. I ain't gonna hold y'all up too much longer on the second shoe. We're gonna look at the top of the actual tongue, look at the logos, and we're gonna get y'all about here and to go on this second version. Y'all see it? It's about the same differences. It looked like the color of the Jumpman is about closer on this version right here. We have the 6, Cajun spaces on the actual retail, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the actual replicated. As for the inside, like I said, I'm gonna get up in there. Now, as far as the insole, we got it looking pretty much on this insole. This is a little bit more flimsier than the retail this time. The last one that I did, the insole was a little bit thicker than the retail and a tad bit more solid. Now on this one is a little bit more flimsier than the retail. All in all, though, it still feels, comfortable and all, but you can see the thickness. This is the retail, this is the replicated, and I'm gonna let y'all see what's going on everything. Now we got about the same differences as we had on the last replicated as far as the insole. I'm gonna get the insole about it away, and we're gonna take a look at the actual production dates and the inside. Like I said, I'm gonna still do a side by side for you guys in post, and I'm gonna let y'all see this is what's going on this particular one. I'm gonna let y'all see all of the dates and all of that goodness. Now we're gonna get the shoes hit with the black light, and we're gonna get this one up out of the way. Everything is looking good, man. I mean, I feel like if I had missed out, I wouldn't have no problems rocking it out with the actual rep, but that's just me and my opinion. So we're gonna see if there's any differences under the black light. This is the retail. That's how it's looking. We already know where it's glowing at on the retail. We got it in the air unit and on the front. And let's see if that stitching, okay, we still have the stitching glowing on the actual replicated on the front right there. Both of the shoes is pretty clean. I don't see a lot of guidelines on either of these replicateds. It is glowing inside the air unit. As for the inside, that's how it's looking in the inside. And I keep on forgetting to show y'all the actual inside of the shoes of the actual replicated. So I gotta hit my handy dandy light a couple of times and show y'all the inside of this actual replicated, because I keep forgetting we got a stamp on the inside of this one as well. Who knows, this can be how they coming out overseas on their retail version. We never know. But that's how it's looking in the inside versus the inside of the actual retail. So there you have it. The main thing I'm seeing from both of these ones is the stitching on the front of the toe is glowing versus it not glowing on the retail. So I'm gonna hit the light. All right, we done with this one. So we're gonna get this one up out the way, and we're gonna see what the other one looking like. So for my third replicated kick that we have in the view, it is a size 10.5. So it's gonna be easier to distinct from the other ones. Get my brightness up. That's how the size tag is looking. And we're gonna get it up out the box. These ones is from my guys over Blam. Icy Star. Let's get into the box though so we can see how the kicks is looking. I'm gonna let y'all be the judge. Y'all comment down below which one of these versions y'all think is better. Which one looks closer to the retail than the other. I'm gonna let y'all be the judge yourself. I'm just the messenger showing y'all how they coming out from across that water versus the retail. Like I said, this is not to pretty much have y'all critiquing each other in the street to say, oh, he wearing fakes, she wearing fakes. It's just to show y'all for educational purposes, so no one can be scammed when trying to get these on a third party or just on the resale market. Now, let's look at the toe boxes. Whoa. It looks good, but the toe box is a tad bit more bulkier, and this is actually a 10.5. But all in all, we have the same slight differences. It seems like the color of this suede on the mud guard is a little bit closer to the actual retail this time around. And we have the Cajun netting on the side looking like what is looking like very, very close as far as the way it's been replicated. We're going to look at the tongues and the logos on the tongues this time first. And that's how it's looking. It's looking very, very close. The same as the last ones. Look at the toe boxes on both of them. It looks good. It's a tad bit more bulky on this 10.5, but it still look good. I would still wear it, me in my opinion. I mean, on foot, you're not going to be able to tell. Retail on the top, replicated on the bottom. Yeah, it's looking about, you know, the same, as close as they could have gotten them, being that they replicate them. We're going to look at the back of both. Like I said, on all of them, we have that smoothness. You can see that smoothness right there on the paint, and you can see how it looks on the retail. I can feel it. So in hand, I can feel how a retail feel. You know what I'm saying? On foot, can't nobody really say which is which on foot. Now, just looking at both of these, the toe box is a tad bit better on this foot of the 10.5 replicated. And I'm going to show it in comparison. This is the replicated on my right, and on my left, this is the retail. It's a little bit better as far as the actual toe box goes. But I'm going to put that one back over. We can get both of the left foot into the view. As for the height and the cut, all of the cuts has been pretty much about spot on to the retail. But like I said, on the back tab area, you want to look out for that stitching. The stitching looks a little bit smaller and a little bit more neater on the retail. The Nike Air on all of them was pretty cool. And you can see how big the stitching looks on the back tab. The back tab flicks very close to the retail on this 10.5. I know I didn't do it with the first replicated, but that's how it looks. About the same when it comes to the blue, back of the tongue. It's pretty much about the same as it is on the actual retail. So let me look at this tag right here. This tag is like about the same as it was on the actual first replicated one that I was looking at. Everything is looking like everything. What I'm gonna do is get into the actual inside so we can take a look at production dates and we can take a look at the insoles. So they do got the size tag in the same location as the retail this time. Let y'all get a look at it. So we got this one looking about a little bit more closer to how the actual retail is looking from the side. This is the retail in my right. And the actual insoles on this one looks very, very close on the back to the actual replicated. But you can see, you know, the slight differences. We do got a difference in the actual size, 10.5, and we have a 11 on the retail. That's how it's looking. And now for the inside of the rep, because I know I keep on forgetting to show y'all the actual inside on the insole. We can see it got like a line type of pattern, and it's pretty much is different on this one. We got like some writing under the insole. You can really tell on this one versus how this one is looking on this actual retail versus this replicated right here. See that? And as for the inside on this sizing label and production date and all of that, it look a little bit more janky on this one. You can see the ball is all the way up here. It's like on that part, you can just tell it was like done a little bit more janky than any of the ones that we've seen. Trying to get a closer up and clearer view on it if I can. But y'all can see though. Y'all pretty much can see that. So that's how all of the versions is looking. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this version hit with the black light and see the differences. Like I said, man, on the side, it's looking real good. Like the color of the suede is looking good and close to how it's looking on the actual retail version. We don't have no inside tissue paper in the inside of that particular wrap though, but we're going to hit the lights. So we already know where it's glowing up at on the actual retail. We can see the glue and stuff like that. The main thing is not glowing up on that front stitching. Let's see how it is on this one. So, okay, there you have it. So on all three of my versions is glowing up on that front stitching. So that's likely a telltale sign to whether if you have a replicated version or not. Like all of these are high quality replicated versions. We can see a little bit more of the glue around the midsole and the upper location. Let me see on the back. Yeah, so yeah, on the back you can see how it's looking on the Nike on the back of that. And you can see how it's looking in the inside of the tongs. So that's gonna wrap up the real versus fake segment. I've showed you guys 3 different versions of the Jordan 4 industrial blue, aka military blue. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on all of these versions compared to this retail down in the comments. I know this has been a long-winded video. I was all over the place. But like I said, for the guys who don't want to sit and watch 35 minutes worth of a video showing y'all the differences, like I said, it's only for educational information so you can keep from getting scammed and trying to get this one, which is the retail on the resale market. You don't want to get this one when you can just go to the plug yourself and get it if you want. So like I said, it's just for educational purposes, not to call out anybody. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Please include anything that I could have missed down in the comments. If you new, like I said, make sure y'all stay subbed up. I drop dope videos on retails and replicated kicks on a regular. Even if this ain't your first time coming to my channel and you ain't subbed up, like this video. It took me some time to make it. Other than that, I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.